If you deconstruct the entire universe, what are the final indivisible building blocks left? Welcome back to our journey. It is a pleasure to have you here for the second installment of this 50-part masterclass on Jaya Monolith. Before you listen to this teaching, let go of one expectation. You do not need to remember every Pali word you're about to hear. You do not need to memorize unfamiliar names or terms. If a word slips away from your memory, let it go. Because the purpose of this teaching is not to fill your mind with words. It is to help you see something more clearly. So don't struggle to hold on to the language. Listen for the meaning. Follow the lesson. And allow each idea to unfold, one step at a time. You may forget the words and still remember the wisdom. In our first session, we pulled back the curtain on the illusion of reality, discovering that the solid world we see is a conventional construct, a story our minds tell us to navigate the world. If you are just discovering this video, you have stepped into a 50-part journey decoding the ultimate reality. To truly grasp what we are discussing, pause this and start from episode 1 in the playlist. The link is below. For those continuing the journey, last time we learned that while a table is a conventional truth, Sammuti Sacca, the hardness and energy it's made of is the ultimate truth, Paramattha Sacca. But what are these ultimate truths made of? If we deconstruct the entire universe, the stars, the earth, and even your own thoughts, what are the final, indivisible building blocks? According to the Abhidhamma, there are exactly 4. We call them the 4 pillars of existence. The first pillar is Citta. In the sources, Citta is defined as the element of knowing or awareness. It is the most fundamental aspect of your existence. Without Citta, the universe might exist, but it would never be known. Think of Citta as a clear mirror or a beam of pure light. It doesn't have a shape, a color, or a personality of its own. Its sole function is to cognize an object. When you see a color, it is Citta that knows the color. When you hear a sound, it is Citta that knows the sound. The sources emphasize that while there are many types of thoughts, the knowing essence is always the same. Psychological, scientific equivalent. In modern science, we might call this pure subjective awareness or the hard problem of consciousness. It is the internal screen upon which all your experiences are projected. If your mind were a computer, Citta would be the power supply and the processing capability, the sheer fact that the system is on and capable of registering data. If Citta is the pure light, the second pillar, Cetasika, provides the color. Cetasika are mental factors that arise and perish alongside consciousness. They never exist alone. They are always hitched to a moment of Citta. The sources explain that Cetasika are what determine the quality of your experience. When you feel happy, that feeling is a Cetasika, Vedana. When you recognize a face, that perception is a Cetasika, Sana. When you decide to act, that intention is a Cetasika, Cittana. There are 52 distinct mental factors that can combine in different ways to flavor your consciousness, making it greedy, angry, calm, or wise. Psychological, scientific equivalent, these are your cognitive functions and affective states. In neuroscience, these correspond to specific neural pathways and chemical signatures, like dopamine or oxytocin, that modify your state of being. If Citta is the computer being on, Cetasikas are the specific programs and algorithms running at any given moment, defining whether the computer is calculating, rendering, or idling. The third pillar is Rupa, commonly translated as matter. However, the Abhidhamma definition is more dynamic. It is called Rupa because it is that which changes or deforms due to opposing conditions like heat, cold, or hunger. According to the sources, Rupa is not solid stuff. Instead, it is a collection of fundamental qualities. These include the great elements, Pathavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. Everything physical in the universe, from the neurons in your brain to the phone in your hand, is just a temporary dance of these four energies, scientific equivalent. This is the realm of physics and quantum field theory. Science no longer sees matter as little balls of stuff, but as vibrations in quantum fields. Rupa is the hardware of the universe, the physical energy and biological matter that provides the base for our mental experience. The first three pillars, Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa, are conditioned. They are always changing, arising, and passing away. The fourth pillar, however, is unique. It is Nibbana. The sources describe Nibbana as the ultimate reality that is unconditioned and timeless. It does not arise from causes, and it does not perish. It is described as the cessation of the burning of the other three pillars, the end of the cycle of suffering. While the first three pillars make up the matrix of our daily existence, Nibbana is the reality that exists beyond the matrix. It is a state of supreme peace that can be experienced by the mind when it is fully decoded. Psychological, scientific equivalent. While science struggles to define this, it could be thought of as absolute entropy zero, or the ground state of reality. It is the silence behind the noise, the void that is not empty, but full of potentiality. It is the ultimate psychological state of homeostasis and liberation from all external and internal stress. These are the four pillars of Jaya Monolith. Citta, the awareness. Cetasika, the mental qualities. Rupa, the physical energy. Nibbana, the unconditioned peace. Every experience you have ever had, every heartbreak, every victory, every dream, is simply an interaction between these four elements. By learning to see the world through these pillars, you stop being a victim of your emotions and start becoming a master of your own reality. But to master the system, we must look closer at the light itself. How does consciousness actually know? Is it a continuous flow or a series of tiny sparks? In our next episode, we will dive deep into the concept of purely observing consciousness, the mysterious nature of Citta. The map is in your hands. Let's keep decoding.